YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. So today guys, we are going to talk about the Nouvelles. So we already talked about the core cards and the main deck list and also a short gameplay for the Vanquish Soul. So we are going to do the same thing today, but instead we are going to do it with the Nouvelles. So I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Let's go towards the core deck list for the Nouvelles. So for the core deck list for the Nouvelles, I'm going to bring forth the other cards, So there are two cards that we did not include in this lineup. Mainly one trap card in the name of Staff Recipe, because typically you just have to target one ritual monster and then spell summon a token in the field with that specific level. You can use this one to ritual summon your ritual monster. The downside for this is a trap card, so you need one turn to activate it. So might as well gonna go for 2 copies of Fish Recipe and a 1 copy of Meat Recipe rather than the trap card. Also, we are not running today's menu because this is typically like pre-prep. So might as well gonna go for pre-prep since it's much easier to access your level 1s and of course its respective ritual spell card. This, however, reveals 2 Nouvelles monsters and then your opponent randomly picks one and then you can add the ritual spell card depending on the card added to you. So it's much more easier going for pre-prep. To start off, we're gonna go with the 3 elves in the deck. Our field spell allows us to gain access to 1 recipe card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. A secondary effect, you can spin back 1 ritual monster on your hand and then draw 1 card. The last effect is you can target 1 recipe and another card in your graveyard by the end of the turn, and then you spin that back to your deck, draw 1 card. Another one is the Culinary Confrontation. The best part about this is you can get a copy of your Pendulum monster, which is the Poissonnière de Nouvelles or Nouvelle, and also a copy of your Patisserie Couverture, which is in your extra deck. Depending on the number of copies, you can go with 2 to 3 copies for the Couverture, but the Poissonnière de Nouvelles, you need to have 3 copies of this because basically if you normal summon or spell summon this card to your side of the field, you can add 1 level 1 ritual monster or 1 recipe card from your deck to your hand, or you can go with the second effect, banish any number of recipe cards from your graveyard and spell summon 1 Nouvelles ritual monster from your hand with a level equal to the number banished. You use the effect of Culinary Confrontation, get a hold of your Pendulum monster and Couverture, spell summon the Couverture to your opponent's side of the field in an attack position. The Poissonnière de Nouvelles will be summoned to your side of the field, thus triggering the effect. So that is the 3 elves in your deck. Let's talk about the monsters first, starting from the level 1 up until the 6, excluding the vanilla monster, which is the Hungry Burger. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the Burla-based the Nouvelles. Can be summoned by any of the ritual spell cards that you have, typically the Fish Recipe or the Meat Recipe. If you summon the Burla-base using the Fish Recipe, it will have an additional effect for the Fish Recipe to add 1 additional recipe ritual spell card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Furthermore, the same goes with, of course, the Meat Recipe. If you use Meat Recipe and ritual summon the Conferas to the field, you can also change all defense position monster your opponent controls in attack position. That way, it's easy enough for you to target or tribute them for fodder for your ritual monster. So yeah, those are the level 1s and level 2s. So each of the Nouvelles monsters, once targeted for an attack or any effect, they will trigger an effect, tribute itself, and an attack position monster in the field. And then you can ritual climb into a higher Nouvelle monster. So the Burla-based Nouvelle will spell summon level 2 or level 3. The Conferas will spell summon a level 3 or level 4. The Poltes will spell summon a level 4 or level 5. The Foy de Glacia will spell summon a level 5 or level 6. And lastly, the Berlemonier will spell summon a level 6, which is your boss monster Bear Grill de Nouvelle. Bear Grill will spell summon also Hungry Burger if you use its effect. So with regards to the number of copies, 2 copies for your Burla-based de Nouvelle. It's much easier to summon this to the field so that you can excavate cards from your deck. The poll test is the same as well, but it just allows you to draw 1 card. The Conferas will pop 1 spell or trap card to the field, 1 summon to the field. The Foy de Glacia is basically 0 to 1 copy. It depends on you if you want to use this one. The purpose for me adding this one is so that I can cycle back cards or 3 cards from my graveyard back to my deck. Typically, it has the same effect with the field spell though, but the field spell only targets 2. It's up to you if you want to use the level 4 ritual monster. Then you have the Master de Nouvelles. Once summoned to the field, you can add 1 novel or recipe card from your deck to your hand. That's basically it. You can use an attack vision monster to spell summon your Belgril de Nouvelle. Now, the Belgril, once summoned to the field, you can negate all of the effects of every face-up card on your opponent's side of the field. So that means this is typically like Dark Ruler No More in a sense. Also, if this card was spell summoned by an effect of a Nouvelle monster, tribute as many monsters your opponent controls as possible. So those are the ritual monsters. Oh yeah, Chef's special recipe is typically like Silent Conflict, where it can negate spell, trap, and monster negate. Also, spell speed 3. 2 to 3 copies of Coverture, like I said earlier. The rest is basically utility. It's really up to you. So that is the core cards that you'll basically need in a Nouvelle deck. Let's go towards the complete 40 card deck for Master Duel. Alright guys, so this is the complete deck list for Master Duel. We are running the incantation engine here, which is 3 copies of Talismandra, 1 copy of Candle, and 1 copy of Pensive Plume. You can go with the 2 copies of Candle, just remove a copy of Fio de Glacia. And then for our staples, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 3 copies of Maxi, 2 copies of Cold Grave. We are not running any crossover signators or even a copy of Imperm here, so I think that's okay. What else? For our consistency engine, we have 1 copy of Extravagance. Now, Extravagance is practically questionable here. You can remove the Extravagance and add typically a copy of Ben 10 here, alongside some Diviner of the Herald, which is a really good card as well. Extra deck wise, you can run 3 copies of Herald of the Arclight if you're running also with some fairy engines like the Diviner of the Herald and the Ben 10. It's really up to you. What else? Pre-prep, like I said earlier, much easier if we go for pre-prep rather than today's menu. And yeah, Coldberry Grave. Those are the cards needed for the 40 card deck. For the extra deck, like I said, it's basically utilities after the Coverture. So the Divine Arsenal AA Zeus, Downward Magician, 1 copy of Nightingale, 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, 1 Axis Gold Talker, 1 Appaloosa, 1 Nightmare Unicorn and Phoenix, 1 Dark the Dark Charmer, 1 Cross Sheep, 1 Anima, since majority of our cards are level 1s, and lastly 2 copies of the Dynamundo, which is a really good support for ritual monsters. So that is the deck list for you guys. Let's go towards the game replay just to showcase this deck out. So let's go. Alright guys, so here we are with the gameplay showcase on how this deck really works. So our opponent just used Maxi, we just Ash Blossom it. Anyways, we got a copy or a starting hand of our Pendulum monster. We have our field spell, our boss monster, which we can summon, and of course the Cold Body Wave. So not really the best of hand here though. Needless to say, it's perfectly fine. We use the effect of Cold Body Wave here. Our opponent has all the outs here. Negate that. We add a card. We can go with a copy of... You know what? We'll go for a copy with our trap card. There we go. We can use the effect of a field spell to bounce back 1 card to our hand or 1 ritual monster to our hand. Luckily, we drew into a copy of pre-prep here, so that's what we'll need. Get a copy of the fish recipe and a copy of our Burly Base. There we go, and we can normal summon this though. You know what? We can normal summon this. Normal summon this to the field. It will allow us to gain access to 1 card. We got Effect Veiler, so this guy has everything else. So use the effect of the fish recipe, tribute the monster in the field, defense position. So at this point on, we can add a card for the effect of the fish recipe. We can trigger the effect of our Burly Base to excavate 5 and trigger the effect of our Pendulum monster to add it to the Pendulum Zone. So there we go, excavate 5. Hopefully we'll get something good. We got a field spell. We got a... My gosh, what the fuck. You know what? I will get a copy of this in case. Anyway, so we set this one here. There we go. That is our board. We use the effect of our field spell to bounce back from our graveyard. There you go. And drawing 1 card. So we got a copy of Burly Base here. So, Salamangreat, alright. Sure, go for it though. I'll let him summon all the cards there. Sunlight Wolf. He's not gonna attack, so he knows the effect of my monster here. So he's gonna use Backsy on my turn. I'm gonna go for special recipe, negate the effect. And then we're good. We're Gucci. So we go for the effect of this. Change the battle position of our monster. Spell summon the pendulum monster to the field in defense position. Use the effect since it was spell summon. Add 1 ritual card. I think that's the best choice there. There you go. Use this again, the field spell, to add a card. I can go with another card that we did earlier in the graveyard, or yeah, I'm gonna go for that. Add that one to our hand. We can recycle it back again. Yeah, it's very slow. This gameplay is very slow, I'm pretty sure. Use the effect of this, excavate 5, use the effect of that, put it back in the pendulum zone. Please give us something good. Oh, we got something good. Add a card. We go for this one to draw 1 more card. Go for fish recipe here. Should we go for this? You know what? I'm gonna spell summon this, tribute this, and this, and this. On the field, add a card because of the effect of the Berlin Manure. We can go with a copy of... Should I go for a copy of fish recipe here or this? I think I can go for this. That's alright. Use the effect. Tribute an attack position monster. Spell summon our boss monster from our deck. So once the boss monster is on the field, it can negate all of your opponent's cards, not just the monsters, all the cards. And that's basically it. We have a really good board. We have an empty board. Attack there. Now the downside for the Nouvelles is they have low attack here. They have less powered, I would say. But yeah, a lot of good control if you know how to play this deck correctly. Use the effect of a field spell, bounce back a card. We go bouncing back a copy of fish recipe and a copy of Poultice. There we go, drawing 1 card. We got a Chalispandra with 1 ritual monster that's insanely good. Of course, we always have a new an effect of this one here. There we go, Chef's special recipe, negate, destroy the card, of course. That's the turn. So on our turn, we got a good hand here. So we can change this in defense position, use this effect of our pendulum monster, change that to attack position, spell summon it, and attack. Use the effect of the pendulum monster, get a copy of the fish recipe. Use the effect of Talispandra, reveal the ritual monster. And spell summon the candle. And the candle to the field. Now I know this isn't the optimized build for this deck, but it's really fun to actually use this deck. So really good. There we go. Use the effect of the fish recipe. Special summon this to the field. Distributing the candle to the field. Poultice will allow us to draw 1 card. We got it, a hamburger here. Sure, we can just spin back the hamburger to draw 1 more card. We got Called by the Grave, insanely good, and that is basically the game. So not really that powerful as a deck though, but I really like it. Anyway, so that is it. That is game. And there we go. Alright guys, so that is how the Nouvelles works. Tell me your thoughts on this archetype. Would you want to play this archetype? I'm pretty sure some of you really want to. I think they're really good with some of the Libromancer archetype. I'm not sure about Mikankos, by the way. But needless to say, we'll test this one out once the cards are going to be released in Master Duel. So that is it for today guys. Keep safe, good luck. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.